Good morning, dear students. Our today's topic is arrays in Java. So, in today's video, we will discuss about arrays, their types, and operations that you can perform on an array, like searching and sorting. So, these topics we will discuss in today's video. So, let's begin this video. So, firstly, let me tell you what is an array. So, an array is a group of homogeneous element. So, in Java, you can create a group of elements which are of homogeneous type. So homogeneous means the element of same data type. So it is a group of same type of elements, that is called an array. Next we have why we need arrays in Java. So suppose I ask you that you have to store the marks of 50 students, then how many variables you will declare of integer type, like a, b, c, d, e, f, g, h, and so on, and then you will initialize one by one, but it is very difficult task. So in order to come up from this problem of declaring the multiple variables for storing the large values in a program, we can use arrays. So you can store and process the several elements in a single array under one name. So in this way, arrays help you to create a group of same type of elements that you can process very easily in Java. Next we have types of arrays in Java. So here we have the two types of array in Java, that is one dimensional, also known as single dimensional, and multi-dimensional array. And that is a dimension means a side. So suppose if elements are stored in one side only, that is called 1D array. If elements are stored in multiple dimensions or multiple sides, like in row and columns, they are called multi-dimensional arrays. Now let's see what is a one-dimensional or single-dimensional array, also known as a 1D array. So here is the meaning of 1D array. So 1D array is a group of same types of elements stored in a single row. So all the elements, they will be stored in one row only. So 1D array is also known as a linear array. So the array elements can be stored or can be accessed with the help of the index, also known as indices value, which can be from 0 to n minus 1. So here n is the size of array. Suppose you want to create an marks array with 5 elements, and the 5 elements are given here: 36, 56, 76, 78, and 55. And downside you can see that you are given the index value. So the first index value is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So here you can see the first element is stored or it can be accessed using the index number 0. Second element can be stored or accessed using the index value 1, and so on. As you can see, the size of this array is 5. So the first index will be 0 and the last index will be n minus 1, that is a 4. Now here we have the 1D array syntax. Syntax means how to write or how to declare 1D array in Java. So here is the syntax. Firstly, you have to specify the data type. Then you have to specify the array name. Array name can be any valid name. After the array name, you can specify a set of brackets. And after the bracket, assignment vector is there. Then new keyword is there. Then again data type is there. And now again a set of brackets is there, and within these brackets you have to specify the size of an array. Suppose you want to create the 5 elements array, then size will be 5. And set of array brackets you can specify after the array name or before the array name also. And now here we have the example of 1D array. So in the example, for example, I have taken here various example. For example, integer marks array is created with a new integer 50. 50 is the size of this array. So this marks array can store the 50 integer type elements. Then character alphabet array is there, that can store 26 alphabets. Double percentage array is there, that can store double type 50 element. And string names array is there, that can also store the 50 string type names. So these are the examples of 1D array. So as you can see, the size is in one dimension only. And now here we have the array declaration and initialization. So in the first line, declaration is done with the marks array, that is 5 elements. And next you can initialize the array using the index value. For example, in marks 0 is the 0 index first element, assignment 34. So 34 value will be stored on the 0 index. Similarly, you can store the values on all other index, like 45 is on 1 index, 44 is on 2 index, 55 on 3 index, and 74 on 4th index. So this is the initialization of a 1D array. So one by one element you can initialize all elements using index. Here is another way for the initialization, that is called declaration along with initialization. So declaration and initialization you can do in one line only. For example, here integer marks array is there, then assignment operator is there, then put a curly bracket and put comma separated integers if it is integer array. Then after writing all the integers, as much integer as you want, then close the curly bracket and put semicolon. So in this way you can declare the array, or you can initialize it along with a declaration, or you can also initialize as given in the second line. So these are the two types of initialization. And now we have the assessing elements of 1D array. Assessing means reading the elements or printing them. So in order to assess the elements, you can use the index value. So for example, one marks array is created using the 5 elements, then system.out.println is written. Marks 0 means the first marks will be printed, that is 43. Then again system.out.println marks 4 is written, that is last mark 74 will be printed using the index number 4. Or you can also use a single for loop for printing all the elements. So loop you can start from 0 to the size of array, that is less than or equals to 4. Then I++ is the for loop, then system.out.println, and here you can write marks, and within the bracket, array bracket, you can write the value of I. So automatically it will print all the elements in the array from 0 to 4. And now here we have the 2D array, that is called two-dimensional array. So a 2D array is a group of same type of elements stored in two sides, that is rows and columns. So row wise and column wise the elements are stored in 2D array. So 2D array is also known as a matrix array. So array element can be stored in a row and a column wise. For example, 2D array of 2 rows and 2 columns can have 4 elements, that is 2 into 2, that is 4. So a 2 by 2 array, it can store 4 elements. If the array size is 2 by 3, means 2 row and 3 columns, then it can store the 6 elements in. The main point you have to keep in mind that with 2D arrays there are 2 index values or 2 indexes. So for processing the elements of 2D array or for initializing the elements of 2D array, you have to give the 2 index value, one for row and one for columns. For example, here we have 2 by 2 array, and elements are 33 and 44 in the first row and 55 and 66 in the second row of this array. So this is a matrix array in which 2 rows are there, 0 row and 1 row, and 2 columns are there, that is 0 column and first column. So the first value in this array is 33 and its index place is 0 and 0, means row and column index you have to pick. And similarly the second value is 44 and its index value are 0 and 1. So firstly you have to take the row index, then you have to take the column index. Similarly we will move further to the next line, and in the next line we have the 55 as first value and the index place is 1 0. And next we have the 66 value in second row and the index place is 1 and 1. So these are the index values of a 2D array. So as you can see, we are using the 2 index values for processing a 2D array. So this is the 2-dimensional array because it has 2 dimensions. So first dimension is row and the second dimension is its column. So in this way you can process the elements easily with the help of 2D array, and you can store several elements easily in the 2D array. And next we will talk about the syntax of 2D array. So how you can declare or use the 2-dimensional arrays in Java. So for the syntax, first we have to specify the data type, then array name, and after the array name or after that array name you have to specify 2 set of brackets, one for row and one for column. Then assignment operator is there, then new keyword is there, then again you have to specify the data type, and then you have to specify the row size in the first bracket and after that you have to specify the column size in the second bracket, then put a semicolon. So this is the syntax for declaring 2D array. For example, integer marks array is there, and here I have used the two set of brackets, and then assignment vector is there, then new keyword is there, and after the new keyword again data type will come, that is int, and after the integer type you have to specify the rows and column. For example, here I have given the 2 in the row and 3 in the column. So this is the 2 by 3 array which can store 6 elements. So here is the structure of the array. 2 rows will be created, 0 and 1, and 3 columns will be created. First column will be 0, second column will be 1 index, and the third column will have 2 index. And in this you can store the different elements in the rows and columns. Like in 3 elements you can store in the first row, and 3 elements you can store in the secondary row. And here I want to mention one thing more, that 2D array is an array of one dimensional arrays. So you have to keep in mind that this array is having two one dimensional arrays. For example, in the first one dimensional array it is storing 3 elements, and the second one dimensional array, that is second row, it is also storing 3 elements. So in this way you can say a 2D array is an array of 1D arrays. Now here we have the 2D array declaration and initialization. For example, 2 by 2 array is created here, and you want to initialize the element. So the first element will be 0 and 0, that is 34. So 0 means 0 row, and next 0 means 0 column. So the first element is this. The next element is on 0 and 1 index value. So 0 means that first row and 1 means second column, that is 55. Then again you have the third element, that is 10 index, 36, and the fourth element is on 11 index, 78. And here we have another way of initializing the 2D array. For example, integer marks array is 2D array, then assignment vector is there, then put 2 curly brackets, then initialize the elements of first row, that is 23, 34, then close the elements of first row, then put comma, then second row element will start, that is 46 and 66, then close the curly bracket, second row will finish, and then close the last curly bracket, then array initialization will be over. So in this way you can initialize the 2D array in Java. You can also initialize the elements as given in the second row. And here I want to tell you one thing more, that you need not to mention the size either in 1D array, 2D array when you are declaring and initializing in the same row. And here we have how to assess the elements of 2D array. So similarly, as you can specify the index values of row and column, that element you want to assess. For example, you want to assess the first element, then you have to specify 0 and 0 in the marks array. And there is one more way of assessing the elements of array using the for loop. With the help of nested for loop you can print or you can access all the elements of 2D array. For example, here first for loop, that is integer r equals 0, r less than 2, r plus plus, this is the outer loop, and this loop is used to process the number of rows. So rows will be 0 to less than 2, that is 1. So 0 and 1 will be the 2 row, and inside this loop we have another loop, that is integer c0 until c is less than 2, c plus plus. So this is the inner loop, and it will process the columns, and then inside loop will print the element using marks r and c. R is the row value and c is the column value. Then space will be printed, and after the inner loop one system.out.println line statement is there. It will shift the cursor in the new line for processing the next line elements in 2D array. So in this way you can process all the elements of 2D array. Next we have searching and sorting arrays. So here I will explain the meaning of searching and sorting regarding the 1D arrays. So searching array means searching for an element in the array. So search can be done by matching the element to be searched. It is called key element with the array elements one by one. So this is called searching. Sorting means arranging the array elements in particular order, that can be ascending order or descending order. So suppose if array is already unsorted and you want to sort the unsorted arrays in particular sorting order, that you can do with the help of sorting methods. So in Java there are as per our syllabus we have two searching methods in Java, and we have two sorting methods in Java. And these two searching and two sorting methods are very important from the examination point of view, because 100% one program you will get in the final exams from these searching or sorting techniques. So now here I will tell you which are the sorting methods and which are the searching methods in Java. So here firstly we have the searching methods. So the first method that we will discuss, that is linear search, and the second method in the Java for searching the array element, it is called binary search. So these two methods you have to study carefully, because they are very important. And next we have the sorting methods. So in the sorting method we have the bubble sort and selection sort. So these are also very important, and I will prepare a separate video on these methods, and because in single video everything is not possible to explain, so I will put short videos for you for the explanation of these four methods. So till that you have to wait, and you have to study the arrays properly, so that the methods would be more clear to you. If the arrays are clear, then searching and sorting techniques will be easy for you. So thanks for watching this video, and see you soon in the next videos.